So a couple of weeks ago, there was that rumor that Obi-Wan was going to be canceled, which
canceled.
It was like a few weeks ago, and then it got shot down. Like reports were out and like, this isn't true. And then now I see why people got that rumor, because there was obviously where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep.
Somebody saw the smoke but assumed the wrong thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're delaying production on the series.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor has stated that it's still going to come out on the date that they originally planned, which we don't know what that date is.
Yeah.
And I think it's stupid to say that it's going to come out because you're setting expectations now.
I'm getting worried, man.
the biggest bummer about the report is that they're cutting it from 6 episodes to 4.
Yeah. At that point, make a movie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm like, you probably would make more money off of it that way. You'd have a higher budget, and it would be about the same length, because we don't know how long the episodes are. We thought the Mandalorian episodes are going to be an hour. That was not true.
Minutes.
And I'm like, if the Kenobi episodes are 30 to 40 minutes, that's literally just like a long movie.
Yeah.
Like, that would be less than 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, unless they really want to take advantage of this Disney Plus thing, but it's really concerning to me that they don't have a script. So essentially, they're not happy with the script that they have, so they're rewriting it.
There's all this stuff like Kathleen Kennedy isn't happy with it, and they're like, she's not happy with it, so it must be good. That's what I heard.
There's a big difference. Like when you look at The Mandalorian, it feels like it's all Jon Favreau's doing. Yeah, and then Kathleen's just on there for like a photo shoot.
For a photo shoot,
be like, I'm here.
Wow, great job, guys. Wow.
Yeah. Where this one, she probably has her hands in this a little bit more because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And sure. I don't like the fact that they don't have a script that they're happy with, and they're already saying that it's going to be 4 episodes. I'm like, the script should probably determine how long those episodes are and how many episodes there are. Right?
I'm of this thing, of the opinion that if you want to make it the best you can be, don't try to limit yourself so much. Like, write the script.
See, what they're doing now is they're going to try to write a script into
4
episodes rather than just writing the script for it.
Yeah.
And then finding out how long it should be, Obviously, you want to close out an episode, so I get that. With TV, you have to close it out properly. But yeah, it seems like they're writing them. They're basing the writing on how many episodes there's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It just worries me. But then again, would they have done the same thing for the 6 episodes?
I have no idea.
Did The Mandalorian do that with the 8 episodes? It's hard. It's weird. I feel like I need to investigate more on TV production.
It's
and how they do things, but it's just like I want it to be like a fully thought out story without any filler stuff, but I want it to utilize all it can, and I don't want that to be either hindered or elongated because of the 4 episodes. I'm like, I want it to be like them to put their all into it.
Yeah, because you could say with the 6 episode thing,
you
could be like, well, they have to stretch it out now, and now they're gonna have more filler, you know, stuff like that. That's why I just don't like the idea of saying this is how many episodes it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Rather than let's figure out what the story is, and then write the script, and then go from there.
That should have been the first thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, they said that, they said at Star Wars Celebration when this got announced, or was it Star Wars Celebration they announced this, or was it Comic-Con? No, it was the Disney thing. What is it?
D23?
D23, I think, is where they announced that.
Yeah, it was.
And Kathleen and Ewan McGregor were both on stage, and they're like, we're done with the script. We're ready to go and start production on this thing. Like, they said that the scripts were finished. And I think there's a lot of frustration with Star Wars fans, rightfully so, because every single project that they work on runs into some sort of production issues.
Yep.
Except for The Mandalorian, as far as we know. There has not been any other project that hasn't run into issues. And that's what's frustrating about it as a fan.
Yeah. It just feels like, as much as we want to deny it, but it feels there's a lot of, they don't have everything together.
Nope.
And I think that's what we said maybe last week, or I don't even know if we said it. Maybe we did, that they're trying to kind of more MCU-ify Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that seems to be like
it's bleeding over into Star Wars now.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like Disney doesn't have a really successful method in building a universe other than the MCU.
Yeah.
Like they don't. A lot of their live action movies don't do amazingly.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's their animated projects, and those aren't those are all one offs.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like they're a little too. What is the thing? It's really like Southern saying. It's like they're a little too big for their britches or something like that. Or like like they're essentially they're not ready.
They don't know what to do.
Like clearly from the way that the sequel trilogy played out, like they didn't know what they were doing with that. In my opinion, it turned out okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a dangerous method, very dangerous. And now with this whole Disney Plus thing, I was like, oh, I thought they knew what they were doing. At least with Mandalorian, they did. And it seems like they know what they're doing with Clone Wars.
Again, how much of that is having, Jon Favreau as the showrunner and Dave Filoni over Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's tough to say. I wish we had all the details. Like, I feel like 10 years from now, we're going to learn more about
absolutely
what was going wrong at Lucasfilm to cause.
They always keep that stuff hush hush, like as it's happening. But then when you're way into the future, then the truth comes out.
It's the People one constant is that we know that Kathleen Kennedy is involved in like, that's the one thing, like, because you have had multiple directors, multiple writers on different projects, but the one constant is that Kathleen Kennedy is producing these films.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, maybe she doesn't have a big role in producing them, but she's in charge of what's getting made, when it's getting made, and she's, hiring directors, firing directors for things. And
it's a common occurrence.
Even with all the production issues, they still managed to put out a decent product. Like, I think of Solo and how, like, atrocious that production was, how they had to reshoot the entire movie with, like, less than a year to go. Yeah. Had no trailer until the very last minute, and they still ended up putting out a pretty good movie. Yeah. And Rogue One went through a lot of that stuff. One of my favorite Star Wars movies is, like...
Yeah, Rogue One went through a lot.
That's where I'm conflicted. I'm like... I want to complain,
honestly, I feel like they're just
they...
getting on, like, a lucky streak. Like, that it's turning out okay. Like, inevitably, it's going to be like, all right... This is not. I mean,
for me,
good.
The Last Jedi was that. I was like, oh, this is like different from what they were doing in Episode 7.
Yep.
Even still to this day, like, I can, in my like head canon, I can take The Last Jedi out and I can watch Episode 7 and 9 and be like, yep, this is it. Like,
I still think like the best stuff that's happened with the new revitalization of Star Wars since Disney's acquisition is like books, comics, and Rebels.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I feel like that's probably been the most consistent stuff because it's like trusted people. I feel like everything else has had like major issues.
Yeah.
And the movies are the things that should not, like, that should be, I don't know if the movie should be their focus now at least, but when the trilogy was coming out, it definitely should have been. And we probably would be in the position where the anthology movies, a Star Wars Stories movies wouldn't have been scrapped had they
still be getting made.
Yeah, had Solo not have been so just, I mean, if it didn't bomb because they lost money on that movie.
Yeah.
And if Rogue One had even been just a tad bit better, like, I mean, but it was Solo that, like,
Rogue One still cleared $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's made more than The Rise of Skywalker so far, even though Rise of Skywalker hit $1 billion. But
I think that was because that was at a time when Star Wars was still so, like, fresh. And it's not
it's the first new thing from Star Wars too.
It was the first movie that wasn't in the main saga too.
Darth Vader helps out with marketing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Darth Vader helps out a ton.
Yeah.
I wonder how much money Jedi Fallen Order has made, because you make more money in games. Games is it's known that in the entertainment industry, video games is the most profitable.
I mean, it's more
industry.
money per unit, and
sales will go on
like
for years.
DLC
you think have like
stuff like that.
GTA is still like, it's like the greatest selling video game of all time, and it still makes many sales.
Still has a pretty active.
They still
fan
make
base
new.
Too.
They still make new copies of that game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. Let's see. The forecast was that it's supposed to sell between 6 and 8 million copies by the end of March 2020. I don't know what they have. Those numbers are harder to get, I feel like.
I think it's got to be close to like $500 million.
Oh yeah, it'll make a lot of money
When you count in people buying like, what is it, the like deluxe editions or whatever.
Yeah, there was
Plus
a deluxe
regular.
edition, but other than that, like there weren't any other copies. There wasn't a collector's edition or
Yeah.
anything like that. Yeah,
That's interesting.
I don't know. Anyway, what's next?
Yeah. I think we got bummed out talking about Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you like go back to before, and we're just like laughing and stuff,
Yeah.
and now we're like,
Like, this sucks, man.
sad Keanu
I was actually
Reeves.
really sad that day that the news broke for
You
that.
texted me, he's like, dude, this Kenobi stuff bums me out, man. And I was like, for me, I was like, oh, it's not true. It's not true. And you were like, no, Hollywood Reporter reported it. And I was like, no! Yeah.